Hello, it's Kirsten back again with another video on KJ Free and her three and relationship tips. So everything that I talk about on this channel is about something that I know about. I have personal experience with my kids or through therapy that I've worked with or different things in life experiences. By the way, before I go any further, please subscribe, please like, please comment. So I've been doing a series recently on attention deficit, on sensory processing, and I've mentioned stuttering in that. And I mentioned that I believe there's a correlation between stuttering and ADD or ADHD. And there has been research that says that there is. So both of my boys have stuttering issues, right? My husband also has stuttered. His father stuttered. I don't know how far back it goes, but I do know that it's a stronger correlation in males of a family than females. So I was reading before I even had kids. It says it's a 50% chance that if you have a same age kid, that a boy, I should say, that they are going to have the same issues, speech issues that their parent has. And so, two boys and a girl, the two boys have developed the same speech issues that their father has, that his father had. I don't have those speech issues. My daughter is 1, so she's not yet really fully talking yet. We don't know what, if she will or if she won't. Of course, I'm hoping it's not something that she's going to be dealt with. But if it is, something we'll deal with it and we'll implement it in their life and make it as something that's a part of them, nothing to be ashamed of. Are they going to have to work harder? Yes, but that's okay. There's something that almost all of us have that we get to work harder at. So I think I've mentioned I have a hip replacement and it came from a fusion. And I think I will do a whole video about the story of my medical issues and history. But I always liken it to that my hip issues, my hip replacement, mommy can't run. There's tons of physical things that I am not able to do or the doctors say that I should avoid because it'll make my hip worse. And so I look at it as just part of who I am. It doesn't define me. It may make life more challenging in some ways, but it also can be a gift in other ways. I can be an avenue and a compass for compassion for others, right? Unity, understanding, patience. It doesn't look like I have a physical issue, but I do. And when people get to know me, they see that and they see the ways that I have learned to cope with it and embrace it as part of my life. Same thing that the boys can do, same thing that their father has done. So he used to have a lot more speech issues. My husband, when he was younger, he went through speech therapy. You can barely hear a stutter now. Sometimes I do. It really depends a lot on mood and anxiety and sleep and anger, and a lot of things are wrapped up into when the stutter is more prominent. So the boys are in speech therapy, and they have been since they started elementary school. So because of that, they have an individual education plan. My 9-year-old, he is already starting to come out of it some. You don't hear as much speech issues. My 7-year-old, he is more significant with that. So do they both kind of go back and forth with feeling a shame with it, feeling like it's a burden, something that they're upset about and hate to have? They have both battled with that, especially the 9-year-old when he was younger, cared a lot what other people thought about him. So it would often hamper his style and his speech. I never ever want either one of my boys to feel like they can't use their voice or they don't have their voice because of whatever speech deficits that they may have. And actually, my husband has a podcast. It's called The Power of Your Voice, shameless plug. And it's about overcoming challenges. And for him, it was overcoming the challenge of using his voice even with some speech difficulties. So he's a great motivator. He's a great inspiration, role model right there for them to see that even though you may have more difficulty getting your words out sometimes or even being understood with your words, that it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's not going to stop you. It doesn't even have to hold you back. It could be something that you can embrace as part of ingredients of what makes you you and what makes you beautiful and unique. So the main thing that we do with the boys is we want to make sure that they don't feel shame attached to that. I don't feel shame attached to my hip issues. They would feel that. Even if I said I didn't, if I felt shame or blame or there was something wrong with me because I have a hip replacement and I used to have a fusion and there's some physical things that I can't do, they would feel the shame, they would feel that negative energy associated with that. So no matter what I told them, they would go by what they're feeling from me and their father. Their father doesn't feel shame associated with his speech issues. So whenever we feel any of that creep in, and it's going to come from outside sources, from outside the home, from peers that may tease them or ask them, why can't you say this word right, or why are you repeating a word over and over, or saying what's happening, whether they're being teased or questioned, it's something that's going to come up in the outside world. And so we get to make sure that they are feeling strong and confident in who they are, no matter what's happening in the outside or external forces. And that's one of the main things I want to instill in all three of my kids, that to be confident, kind, calm, that no matter what is happening around you, that you know who you are, you know what you have to offer. So you're not going to take things personally. You're going to be impeccable with your words. You're not going to make assumptions, and you're always going to do the right thing. Does that sound familiar? It's by the Four Agreements, which is one of the most wonderful books I have ever read. I recommend it for everybody. And so that's kind of one of the frameworks we live with in this house. And so for me, taking things personally is something that I've had to battle. My husband is more, don't make assumptions. So we really often think about that when we are parenting our kids, and that's something that I encourage you to do as well. What are some of the tenets you live by, and what are you going to instill in your kids in that way? So whatever is happening with them, are they going to be having speech difficulties or challenges, or maybe a little hard time speaking all their lives? Possibly. Is that okay? Yes, it's okay. My body may physically never be what it once was, and that's okay. And I'm fine with it. I may never run again. The doctors say I won't, and that's okay. I know who I am, and I do everything that I'm capable of doing, and I still push myself. And they're going to continue to get the speech therapy so they can be as understood and concise and clear as possible. And no matter what happens, they're going to be okay with who they are. They're going to know who they are. They're not going to let their stutter, speech issues define them, or anything else like that define them, positive or negative. They're going to know who they are and what makes them the wonderful beings that they are, despite, instead of, because of all of the things that wrap up that make them who they are. So if your child is struggling or has been affected with speech issues, yes, it's a good idea to get them tested. Yes, it's a good idea to get them into speech therapy so that they can be understood in this world, so that they're not going to have any more barriers in the way of connecting with people. But that doesn't mean that it's going to make them any less than or define them in any way. And so I'm excited about their future. I know that whatever they have, that are challenges, that are strengths, is not going to define them. It's not going to be a barrier, because they're going to be confident they can do anything that they want to do. They can run for president if they want to. They can give speeches. They can be CEOs. They're capable of all that because they are brilliant, as I mentioned, and because they know they can do anything they want to do. And that's something that their father and I get to instill in them. If we are not feeling that in ourselves, there's no way they're going to feel that. Okay, as I said before, like, subscribe. I'm going to do a next video on something I think that's going to be really interesting. I love you all. Take care, and life is now.